It is Christmas in July, and Gen Xers, I gotta know, does this stuff look familiar? During those dog days of summer, it is always nice to think ahead or think back to the chilly days of Christmas and December. Today, I'm going to show you some candy that I know Gen Xers will know. And actually, the candy that I chose specifically for this video, I believe they're all accidentally vegan. My favorite is the Lifesaver book. The new storybook definitely gives you the vibe of the old Lifesaver storybook. It's meant to be given as a gift to and from. You open it up and there's a nice little story, and then there are the lifesavers. 6 on this side, but then the biggest difference between the new and the old is the old ones had 6 on this side as well. And you can see this new version, all the lifesavers are just the normal regular lifesavers. There are some really awesome flavors in the old retro Lifesaver storybooks. I loved the tropical versions, and then there was one flavored butter rum. That was probably my favorite, probably because I thought it had real rum in it and I was like being all grown up. To be honest, the only time I ever ate Lifesavers was out of my Lifesaver storybook. And those things, they've been around forever and ever. I saw an old ad from the 50s, and one of the flavors in that Lifesaver storybook was clove flavored. They should really think about bringing back some of the old flavors for the new Lifesaver storybooks. I'm not going to knock on the new version too hard. They've got a nice little story on the inside of the book, and of course the story not only highlights the use of lifesavers in your Christmas celebration, but it also has a nice story about the Christmas and the giving season in general. I gotta admit, you guys, I have not had a lifesaver in like decades. So let's see. The flavors are cherry, raspberry, watermelon. Oh gosh, I don't remember watermelon. Orange and pineapple. Might have to partake. By the way, I bought all of this candy after Christmas at CVS and Target because it was like 75% off. So I bought all of it and then squirreled it away, hoping that I would remember to do this video in Christmas in July. And luckily the other day I was watching Max Miller on Instagram, I think, and he was talking about the history of Pez. And I was like, dang, my Santa Claus Pez dispenser. So I dug this guy out of the closet, and here he, oh my God, where are his eyeballs? Oh God, my Santa doesn't have eyeballs. All right, well anyways, Pez dispensers were pretty much a staple in every kid's stocking in the 80s. And there wasn't a huge variety, at least of the holiday versions. There was like a snowman, Santa Claus, obviously, and I think a reindeer, but not a lot else unless you were getting like a Star Wars one. I remember actually getting a Star Wars one year, and that was cool. Pez is not really a yummy candy or something I really look forward to eating around the holidays. It's really all about the dispenser. But something I did learn from Max Miller in Tasting History is that this candy was actually created as an alternative to smoking. So ho ho ho. My final vegan retro Christmas in July candy is candy canes. And before you're like, oh, boring candy canes, these are soft candy canes. When I was a kid, I never really loved those sharp hooked ones. Now I would eat them mainly so that I could suck on the end and sharpen it up, so that I could poke my brothers and sisters with the sharp end of it. But these I would really go for. And usually I only saw them like in my grandma's candy dish, or maybe sometimes like I feel like they were at a restaurant. Bob's is over 100 years old, this company, and I am not 100 years old, but I am over 50 years old. So I'm pretty sure it was Bob's that I ate when I was a kid. Now, I'm not 1000% sure that these are accidentally vegan. I went onto Bob's website into the frequently asked questions section, and unfortunately that section was down. However, the ingredients are pretty simple. It's like sugar, peppermint oil, and some red food coloring. That's great. And then they actually took the time to say all natural peppermint and gluten-free and fat-free. So I'm kind of like, okay, maybe they do care about people's health. And if they do, then maybe they used beet sugar and not the bone-charred sugar. So anyways, I'm not 1000% sure, but Bob, if you're watching, could you please confirm, because I have loved your candy canes, the soft versions, since I was a kid. As someone who's been vegan for a few decades now, it is so nice to still be able to eat some of the candy from my childhood that is accidentally vegan. Please let me know in the comments what kind of candy you got in your stocking when you were a kid, and I hope you are having an absolutely fabulous Christmas in July.